until they're unslept, until the duration's complete. So in a lot of ways, if you use it in the right situation, you could be in a 1 versus 5 against the lifesteal and just destroy him. Also keep in mind that Rage, despite being really good against magic, the ensnare from Nagasine goes through that as well, and he can't get rid of it. So this is actually a really questionable pick. I really like the synergy because of his ultimate Infest, as you guys may or may not remember, when you can go inside of a hero or inside of a creep. And for this purposes, we're going to be looking at somebody like an Earthshaker once he gets a Blink Dagger. Well, it gives you an instant initiation, which is nice, but
one thing that I do like about the Lifestealer is there's a lot of tanky, or there's a couple of tanky heroes on EG. And the way that Lifestealer's second skill works, it's called Feast. You life leech a percentage of their current HP. So if you hit somebody that's 1,000 HP, you do 70 more damage and you heal 70 damage. So you could use that against Tidehunter. You could use that against Brewmaster Pandas. When he splits, his Pandas have a pretty good amount of HP. And he can kill those decently fast as well. So I don't completely understand the pick other than the whole thing you just mentioned, infesting out of a Blink Dagger. But I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. It looks like he's going mid, actually. They're doing a dual mid here with a Lich and a Lifestealer. And they're going to be planning to go against Arteezy's Naga. So this is how they're countering it. They said, I don't care that you're playing Naga. I'm just going to make sure that we counter you. And we're going to put a bunch of, we're going to put a Lich against you. And that's because Lich's third skill sacrifice here. Watch, one of these creeps is going to die. And Banana will get experience. And How will get experience. And this is a creep and experience that Arteezy is never going to get. So it's a one way to counter him. He actually messes up his block here. PPD's going to also mess it up. What a mistake here. Getting the block messed up is a really big deal, unless they do this on purpose, of course, because now the creep wave will meet here. And that means it's harder for Arteezy to get last hits, basically.
Yeah, and Zai right now playing the Sand King with a crazy-ass set, which you're going to have to look at once the smoke is dissipated, because I've never seen that tail before.
Before we do, I just want to mention last hits means the amount of creeps that you kill. So if we take a look in the upper left, is this in order? There we go. 2 last hits here for How, whereas Arteezy actually has only 1 so far, so he's going to trade some hits here.
Yeah,
he
so
got a
you guys
really
can look
fast
at that
bottle.
pretty early game to see. Oh, Arteezy did? Oh, boy. Okay, so this is what we call bottle crowing. We want to talk about that. So the bottle itself is it's kind of like a consumable item, but you don't actually eat the item. So it has consumable charges that heal you up as well as give you mana over a little bit of duration of time. Now, the thing is, if you can't get to the runes, which spawn every 2 minutes at the top area on the river and the bottom area, the reason you want to get those runes in a lot of cases is because it actually fills your bottle back up, right? So since he won't be able to do that because he's in a 2 versus 1 situation, he's putting the bottle on the courier, walking the courier back to base where it will refill, and he'll bring it back to himself again. So he gets, basically he can just spam his abilities without worrying about mana problems.
Oh, is this that new set that was in the shop?
This is Arteezy's set, I know that.
No, sorry, I'm sorry. I was going back to the Sand King.
Oh. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It looks pretty different.
Tail of his?
Yeah.
I've never seen that one before.
Not sure if I'm a fan of this or not. I will tell you guys later.
You'll have to sleep on it or something like that.
I'll be back.
I mean, when he ultis, that's when it turns green. That's why it's a little weird for me, but I'm sure you get. Yeah, Arteezy is continuing to bottle crow, so I would expect Lich to actually. Okay, where did Lich go?
Oh, Doom's actually able to grab the rune. That's pretty good for him. That could have been Sand King picking that up. On the bright side, it's neither of the mid players that get it, and Doom's actually just going to shift to the jungle, it looks like, because he's having some trouble in this off lane. It's a really dangerous lane, actually. Again, this is the dangerous lane for the Radiant team. This is the dangerous lane for the Dire team, and that's because it's very far from the tower here to safely walk back from where the creeps are sitting. And since there's 3 heroes here on EG, it means it's very simple for him to die. It's not really simple, but it doesn't take a whole lot of execution from EG. They just kind of have to be in the right place at the right time. They'll use a stun into another stun into a clap, and that's 3 disables on one hero is usually them dying if you're auto-attacking properly. So actually, they're diving really hard, trying to get Arteezy here, chasing after Banana. I don't know if he's going to be able to get that skill. It's going to be pretty close. He's got to run now. He might be in trouble. Couple hits. Maybe he stayed too long, but he's got bottles.
Man, Arteezy plays like an absolute man, if I do say so myself. Now, like you said, a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, mostly Arteezy more than any other, gets only 1 level in Ensnare. I would be shocked if he doesn't fill that up this time. Just because he's playing against a Lifestealer.
Against a Lifestealer, I really feel like you have to, because if he ever uses Rage and goes on somebody, if he does like a 2-3 second net, or like a 3 or 4 second net, it just burns all of Rage. And then Lifestealer is a worthless hero. Like, that is why this hero is picked, because of Rage. And if he can counter that entirely, then he's a hero that doesn't even have a BKB. and then people just have to walk away from him, and he can't get a kill. So it would be really useful. The downside is that it's going to hurt his overall HP if he does put a lot of points into that skill. So if he does max it out, it's going to be late by like 16, because maxing out Mirror Image is very important for your damage. And also, Riptide is very, very important. So he probably won't max it until later, but at some point he's going to have to.
Yeah, I would hope so. But a lot of times, if there's no action early in the game, we just look at the discrepancy in levels. We compare and contrast, because I think the bigger deal is the off lanes here. So we have Doom, like you talked about, that's in the jungle now. He's level 3.5. And then Tidehunter on the other side, we're going to have some action in the river, apparently. And who is... Oh, Arteezy? No, this is the Lifestealer trying to run. Did he get arrowed or something?
Ooh, what a save.
Oh! Not going to be enough to get the kill. And Arteezy is now on the run on this Naga Siren. You're seeing this spell come out.
Oh my god, a regen.
Scorched Earth. Did he bottle it up? He does bottle it up.
Oh.
That's a really lucky rune. What you just saw there from Doom is called Scorched Earth. You activate it, you get a little fiery ring around yourself, as we have a First Blood somewhere. That's insane. But the Ring of Fire, it heals you, but damages enemies and gives you move speed. So that's why he was able to catch up in that instance. I don't know how you get First Blood, Death Prophet versus Tidehunter.
It's got phase boots. It's a melee hero versus a ranged hero. She has a spammable nuke. Her right click is really good with phase boots. Makes sense.
Especially considering it's universe, though. That's
yeah, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's a really, really talented player. So that is the surprising
But even
part.
with that death, he's 4.5, and Doom is just barely 4 now. So Doom's starting to catch up a bit. So good for him.
Yeah. So when Naga Siren splits, as you can see, it makes blue illusions, and these are the ones that's very obvious for us, but for your opponents, they all look the same to you. And you have to figure out which one's the real one based on their movement patterns, based on how much damage they take, based on how much damage they do. You can check other things like little numbers, how much HP they're regenning per second. Like if they stand there stupidly for a second, you know it's not the real one. Arteezy may be in some trouble here. How's doing some right click. That was kind of weird.
It's Lifestealer, man. You got to be a man. He's the anti-strength hero, which I love. But, well, actually, it doesn't make any sense since I'm a fan of strength heroes. But he's a strength hero himself, so I guess we'll just let it slide. But Doom is actually back at the top lane. Interesting. So he actually used his Devour, which is his first ability, on a neutral creep. And if you do that on a neutral creep that's in the jungle, you gain any ability that they have. And right now he has a net, which is similar to the Ensnare, actually, from Naga Siren.
Yeah, except it's ranged. Only lasts 1.5 seconds. And the important part is it costs a lot of mana. So 150, it costs Doom a lot. He doesn't have a huge amount of int in the early game. Intelligence is his stat that gives him mana pool, as well as mana regen. And he doesn't have a whole lot in the early game, despite his int gain being okay. So he really can't cast this early game. It's just not going to happen.
I'm more interested to see what Mirana's going to end up doing. She's just leeching experience here, and what that means is if you're in a lane alone, you're going to be getting what's called solo experience, which is the full amount of the experience. And if you have somebody come in the lane with you, if it's a dual lane, meaning 2, or a tri-lane with 3, or in some cases a quad lane, that's not very common, obviously, you actually share the experience, so you get less experience overall per person. Now, Mirana, she's a big-time roamer, and what roaming means is you don't really stick to a lane. Roam, if you will, from lane to lane, trying to land an arrow, but we haven't really seen him do a whole lot yet. As Arteezy, again, on this Naga Siren, just going head-to-head versus his Lifestealer. Now has phase boots. This is a great set of boots that gives you extra damage. It gives you extra speed if you activate them. So it's a really nice choice for him.
One really good thing about this matchup, actually, is that Naga Siren has really high base armor. And armor is the way that you resist physical damage. We said Lifestealer is all physical damage. Well, if she has this much armor at this point in the game, it means that she doesn't take that much damage straight in. And actually, because of Riptide, this lowers his armor. So Lifestealer actually goes in the negative every time he's Riptide. She's going to sleep it right off the bat. How's going to do some right clicking. He wasn't actually intending, oh, there was actually a Doom coming. He's got Doom. This is really bad. He's going to come back in. Here comes the Doom. There's the Doom. Arteezy running. If they get another open wounds or anything, I think he's still going to die here. It's really not looking good for him, especially chasing. Oh, he juked him. He actually went straight down. He's going to try that at Roshan. Oh, he does it. Oh, that's so big. He ends up denying the EXP and the gold, going to the Radiant team. Nice plays by Arteezy there. Newbee thought for sure that he was going to juke back to the top, but even if he did, he was going to die. That Doom was going to kill him 100%.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Because it lasts for so long, and he ends up going straight for Roshan. He got a little lucky there.
Did he buy
and they didn't go that way.
Not sure if he must have. He has no gold.
He ended up buying something. Looks like a Quelling Blade. I think he got his Ring of Aquila shortly before dying. So he bought out. What a big save for him. And that means that it did spend a lot of time for Newbee to do that, and it was kind of just a trip back to base for him.
Well, they didn't get the kill at all. They didn't get any experience, they didn't get any gold. So big time denial, if you will, to Roshan, which is the big ancient in the middle. But a bigger deal here now is Brewmaster, 8 minutes and 30 seconds. He has a blink dagger. Holy God. And arcane boots. I didn't even notice that.
That's why EG does this. They put Brewmaster in the safe lane, and they guarantee that no matter what kind of a lineup the other team has, they're going to have the Brewmaster be ready to fight. There are pushes that are earlier than this, but usually not on a point where you've already lost 5 towers and you have a huge gold disadvantage. And he's been getting solo experience, by the way, and Brewmaster's actually a pretty good solo hero because if Xiao Wei does come up, he can end up clapping and doing damage. So with the fast blink dagger, like look at that, easy last hit, he did some damage, gets more last hits, now he gets a bunch of free hits in. He doesn't end up killing him, but he puts a lot of pressure on him.
He looks so
could
cute,
get doomed actually. They're thinking about it. If he could actually block him in.
Yeah, if the fissure was there, maybe it would have been pretty tough. I mean, remember, Brewmaster is still pretty tanky in his own right, even without his ultimate.
So if, for example, Brewmaster is standing here, if they can land the fissure from this location like this, it'll block him here, and he can't move for 8 seconds. So if he gets doomed right here and right-clicked, he would end up dying.
Here we go, Purge.
Gotta be a
we
little
have
careful.
a Smoke of Deceit just popped, which is a consumable that makes you invisible to the mini-map, meaning no wards will see you. Once you come in contact with a hero,
holy crap, Zai's got a blink too.
You will be seen. Oh my God, Sanking his blink. Holy Jesus. We have 2 blink daggers and Marana arrow. This is probably going to be a kill if I mean, that's not the most crazy thing I've ever said, that's for sure. Lich, almost level 6 actually. He's actually
will it be killing Lifesteal? They see him, they see him. Right, here comes. There's the first strike first. Here comes the arrow. It's going to land just barely. They don't have to waste any ultimates for this. Just simple right clicks, but that's the hero they want to kill, most importantly. Now, Death Prophet is still going to be a bit of a carry for the Radiant team, as is Doombringer, but picking off Lifesteal here and making him into more of a utility semi-carry is going to be really good for EG. They don't want to have to deal with 3 different heroes getting a lot of farms, so this is good for them.
I have an interesting question.
All right, give it to me.
As actually, might have a dive bottom.
We're
gonna have to wait, Punch, I swear!
Oh, there's the burrow strike. Will we see an arrow? Nope, nope. Gush, 2 TPs actually. That's 270 gold. And Newbee's running to chase.
King is very fast. That is a haste room, meaning he's max speed. So this actually forces, was that 3 TPs? 3 teleports?
Oh, wow. Was it 3?
It was at least 2, but now there's 4 in the lane, so I'm just questioning whether it was 3.
Well,
Either way, that's a
2.
lot of people that's investing their time to come down here, and they get nothing out of it, really. So I think they need to transition this into a push. Watch for Death Prophet to use her Exorcism to take this tower down.
And according, EG is going to shift over. Arteezy is now shifted the safe lane to farm because it's a bit safer here, especially because he doesn't have a huge amount of items just yet.
Oh, Lifestealer again. Bottom jungle, bottom river, arrow.
Okay, that's not too bad. Okay. Zai might actually go down here. Needs 2 mana to go. Invis, here comes! Ooh, that was so close. That was so close. PPD's going to be able to leap. The fissure's going to land on him. Man, that was close.
And this forces bottom lane to not... Oh, actually, never mind. They did get
the tower. Arrow's going to land. Ravage catches all 3. Not good for Doom. Not good for Earthshaker. Maybe a couple more right clicks. He puts Earthshaker up there. They can try to clean up on him later. Looking for the Boulder Smash, but they don't have vision. So good escape there from Doom. They do still pick up the Lifestealer, which is a great kill. And in the meantime, Arteezy got killed. What the heck is happening over here? Looks like Moo cleaned him up.
What?
A mistake from him. He ended up using the song as well, but I bet he blocked himself in or something, and the ulti probably finished him off there. So it was looking good for EG, but with that kill, it evens things up a lot more.
Yeah. And looking at Death Prophet's items, I know this is Cinderin saying hello to everybody, just trying to be famous. Typical Cinderin.
What an attention whore, right?
Death Prophet, the way you build her is really interesting. You buy survivability items. It doesn't necessarily mean tankability. That one is. She just picked up a point booster, so we can talk about that once she actually finishes the full item there. But I want to talk about Eul's Scepter Divinity. This is a Cyclone. You've seen a little bit of that with the Brewmaster, the Storm Spirit, the blue one, if you will.
I have seen that.
Yes, thank you. But this one you use on yourself or an enemy only, and it puts you in the air for 2.5 seconds, and you're invulnerable during that time. And the reason that's important for her is because when she pops her ultimate, that's 2.5 seconds where her ultimate's doing damage, and she is not. So it's big time survivability. In addition, she gets a lot of move speed, which is great for her phase witch, which is great for her witchcraft. I mean, this is like a typical Death Prophet build. Yet it's not an item you see very often on any other hero.
Arrow comes in, lands on the Death Prophet. This could be bad. Taking some damage, but they're not quite ready to fight this.
Purge, look at Tidehunter. He is so close to a Blink Dagger. I think they just wait. I don't know if they want to fight now.
Relatively close, yeah. He doesn't have Ravage. That's the main thing. They can't fight this. They don't have Song. They used Song when Arteezy died, which was a mistake. Arteezy's now died twice. One of those, of course, was to Roshan. The other one was the gank on the top lane, or whatever the heck happened. I missed it. So Newbee's going to be pushing mid now. Level 2 Exorcism being used. They're trying to pull the creep wave past, but EG doesn't have their ultis just yet. Primal Split's not ready. Ravage isn't ready. They've got Epicenter, but that's it. And this is one of the problems with all this split up. Duels is used on himself. He's going to dodge the arrow here. There's the Burrow Strike coming through his eye, trying to slow things down. Ow, maybe trouble. There's the clap nuke. Fissure comes as well. It looks like PPD, the Mirana, is the one that gets doomed, and he is going to die very, very simply.
Well, at the end of the day, EG, they know they can't defend this yet, but they lose a Mirana support for a Doom ultimate. That's not the worst thing in the world.
I don't know, man. They get no gold advantage of this. Ooh, a cancel TP. Actually, Arteezy can stay and push this tower. Maybe he can finish this off. Do they have any more TPs? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, no more TPs, so Arteezy might be able to get this tower. It's a little dangerous. He's got to take it. He's got to TP out now. His illusions. All right, the tower will end up falling. The catapult to get the last hit, but that's good. That's good for EG. So trading a tower for a support is okay. They did still lose the tier 2, so it's not advantageous because tier 2 not only gives more gold, but it gives better position.
You're trying to do the best you can in not the greatest situation because you're waiting for this Naga Siren to pick up that big time item as well as the Tide Hunter who just did.
What item is he going for?
Oh, he's going for a Radiance, which gives you a ton of raw damage and it gives you a little aura around you that deals burning damage to everything in your wake. And the reason that's amazing is because it works on her illusion, which we're going to have to talk about once she picks it up. Like I guess we could talk about it now. I thought they were going to fight, but when you move your illusions around, they have the Radiance burn, meaning you can put them in separate lanes in the jungle. You can farm from across the map, which means she's going to catapult and farm. And the fact that she is about 1,200 away from picking up one of the raw items for it, I'd say 21 minutes, Purge, or so, picking that up, if she doesn't get killed. Maybe a little less.
I'm not sure, actually. We'll see.
Either way, it's not terrible timing, so it's good news for
They're going to pot a multi here. They're looking for kills. They did actually run through an Observer Ward just now. These are Radiant Observer Wards. They spot things out. That means they will have noticed that they're looking for that initiation. Oh, they're going to see how. Zai's up here. PPD's up here. The Sand King and the Mirana. This is a great ganking combo, by the way. These two guys together.
They didn't go for it, to be honest.
Well, they knew that everybody on the Radiant team was missing, which meant that even if they try to kill somebody right here, the whole team is probably sitting around the tier 1 tower. Around this area.
They can't see what we're seeing. They definitely could have gotten that kill, but you never know.
For sure, that's what they were thinking, because the creep wave top was very pushed in. The creep wave bottom, there was nobody farming it, and there was one hero here. Obviously, EG is looking to take a fight, and if there's a hero there, there's no way that's safe.
So no Blink Daggers yet for Newbee, but doesn't matter because Lifestealer's infested inside of Doom.
Oh, this is bad. This is bad. Here comes the song.
Oh, okay. This is the defensive song we were talking about that people love to hate. It's the best way to put it. She uses it. This is a very long cooldown, by the way. Level 1, 180 seconds, so 3 minutes
bottom tower
where she will not have that. And that means that Newbee can actually just push this top lane if they choose that this is the correct decision here.
So if they can take this tier 1 tower, or at least trade with their opponents, it's a good trade. If Moo saves his ulti, and then they take out a tier 2 tower as well, then this is bad for EG. So hopefully for them, they can take this bot tower, they can push mid as well, perhaps. It's pretty low. Or trade the tier 1s and defend the tier 2. But I don't know if they can do that because Arteezy still doesn't have his ulti. He's been using it entirely to defend himself, and they haven't been able to set up with it yet.
Generally speaking, you don't want to give up all these towers for nothing, but really, EG is trading these towers for time. I think that's the best way to put it, because once Naga starts to get these items, she becomes very hard to control.
Yeah.
And Newbee, they're just going to continue on. I mean, there's no reason not to. And
still got their ultis. Here comes Exorcism. He almost casted it. He's going to save it for a moment longer. There it comes. Okay. So the spirits come out, they're going to hit the tower. The tower's going to take a lot of damage. EG's going to trade a tier 1 for this. They still don't want to fight. They just don't want to fight until they have Radiance, pretty much, because their damage output's actually really weak. Like, Naga Siren as a carry, it's really weak until the Radiance comes out, because her illusions do damage based on the primary attribute, and Radiance doesn't increase that. So her illusions are, I mean, the hero is basically limited to Riptide damage, and it's not that much.
Yeah.
So you have to wait until you get a Radiance, then the illusions can run around, they do AoE magic burn, and that means if they're just standing there, they do a ton of damage over time.
Actually, go ahead and click on the Radiance, because we can talk about how do you make items, best way to talk about it.
Sure.
So the Radiance is built out of 2 items. One of them is a raw component called a Sacred Relic, which, as you can see, she has in her inventory. This gives just 60 damage and nothing else. Costs a lot of gold. Now you combine that with a recipe, which is a piece of paper, and that creates the Radiance, which she's getting very close to now, only about 500 or so away. So that is good for EG.
350 actually. Pretty close.
Yeah, very close. And, ooh, actually somebody has a blink. Who was that? Okay, Doom now has a blink dagger for Newbee.
Okay.
So expect the infest bombs. If we say Nake's bombs or infest bombs, that's what that is. He infests inside of Doom, pops out, says hello to everybody, and beats down their opponent.
And this is going to be really good offensively against a Naga Siren, because if Naga is trying to set up a fight and Newbee can initiate, if they can Doom her, it prevents her from casting her ultimate. And if that happens, probably a dead hero, especially if Nake's is on the inside. He actually doesn't have Infest right now. And he's also going for a Sanjin Yasha build, which is a little bit low on damage, but more in utility, which is fine because they have a lot of carries.
The courier is coming
a bit
right
of a weird
now
build.
with Radiance.
Is this the raid?
So even if she dies, it's honestly not the worst thing in the world. I know that sounds weird, and here we go.
Right,
There's the blink. Oh, the shot misses. Arteezy doesn't have his ult, though. There's the Doom. He's going to attempt to run away, but look at the damage output. Not only from Doom itself, but from the Scorched Earth. This is an easy kill for Newbee, but again, Arteezy just spent all his gold, so he doesn't really lose that much in the end, other than time, because now he's out of the game for 40 seconds, meaning that's 40 seconds that he's not farming with those illusions in that new.
Oh man, that was close fissure. What a TP out.
Actually, even looking at Earthshaker, everybody's getting their items. This is such a passive game. It's very unusual. Not unusual, but considering the games we've been watching, this is kind of unusual. But Earthshaker, about 50 gold from picking up his Blink Dagger. In fact, he uses the fissure just to get the last hit. He has it now. Oh, an arrow mid lane purge. Lich gets destroyed.
Wow.
Silence to follow from Death Prophet. Not sure if she can do much. She has the Cyclone, remember, in that Yule Scepter, but Mirana's just going to leap away.
Yeah, it's not worth chasing at this point. Moo's ability to get kills is entirely dependent on whether or not he uses his ulti, and if he uses his ulti to chase people like that, there's a good chance that he'll just waste it. So he has to be careful about that.
And now Death Prophet has the Bloodstone item, which she's been building for quite a while. It actually takes quite a bit to build that. Okay, so I'm going to take part of the Bloodstone.
Oh,
you take
okay.
There's so many things. Like, it's so insane. So for first of all, it starts with 8 charges. For every kill that you are near, it gains 1 charge, and if you die, you lose 1/3. And each charge will just give you more mana regeneration. The item is basically built for mana regeneration, if nothing else. It has a lot of side things I don't know if we want to get into, like if you die based on how many charges you have, actually the cooldown on your death is a lot less.
It's pretty important, I think.
And then if you die, you actually heal your team based on the charges. There's a lot of little things about Bloodstone that make it very powerful, especially on a Death Prophet.
They try to get a kill on the Doom on the bot lane, but it looks like Sanking's going to die for it. He ends up flying out right before this. So he does give Death Prophet a dominating streak, which is good for him, but at least Sanking doesn't lose anything.
Wow, and
oh, Naga gets killed.
Siren takes that. So ever since she's picked up her Radiance, she's been 0-2. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, you really don't. So another kill there on the top lane. EG's in some trouble. That's 2 failed ganks, at least one failed gank, and 1 dead hero on the other side of the map. So if we look at the graph, I bet they're actually not that far behind, 2,000 gold, but it's not looking good. It's going up. And the EXP gain has actually been lost the last couple of minutes too, because these deaths.
And another item I want to talk about, because Mason on this Brewmaster is about to pick it up, unless he wants to save
wow,
the
already? Holy crap.
He's going to have an Aghanim Scepter. And what an Aghanim does, for a lot of heroes, it increases the efficiency of your ultimate in some way. As an example, actually there's not that many heroes that get, I guess Doom. Doom has it, Earthshaker has one, Brewmaster, Sand King. So Brewmaster, when you pick it up, it makes... So, okay, this is the best way to explain it. When you ulti, you lose your Thunderclap, your Drunken Haze, and your Drunken Brawler, right? Because the spirits don't actually get them. They get brand new abilities. But with Aghanim Scepter, you get all of those skills while you're in Brewmaster, or in the spirit form. So you get
sounds so
twice
good.
Okay, it takes a lot more work to do, Purge. You have to be skilled. You can't just be a terrible player like me and try to micro this stuff. But if you're actually good with it, you will increase your damage output by quite a bit.
So this is why Radiance is good. If you look at the little effect on the Centaurs, it's a little bit of a burning effect, and you spread 1 to every single camp, and it allows you to kill them pretty fast. Unless you get really unlucky and you only find Mud Golems. Those are magic immune, so the Radiance burn doesn't affect them. Well, unfortunately.
Oh, look at this. Lifestealer's inside Doom, waiting to pop out and say hello yet again. They haven't actually... I think they've shown this Blink Dagger. It's been a while. The Exorcism's used. And this tier 2 tower, despite being fortified, that golden ring around the tower means that they cannot kill it for 5 seconds, but that's a 5-minute cooldown, if I'm not mistaken, Purge. Oh, the arrow. Not gonna hit. So it's good. Oh, here we have Arrow Strike initiation. Getting really low, but you see she cyclones herself there. Echo Slam was used as well. Now Tidehunter on the run after using his big-time Ravage. Didn't really get anything out of it. Another cyclone. This time this is the Brewmaster Spear that we talked about. The Fire Pit is taken out. There's a big epicenter. Lifestealer's dead. Lich is dead. It's a 5 versus 3, but do they have enough to continue this fight? Brewmaster uses Thunderclap again. He's back in normal form, trying to kill Death Brother, but she is so tanky, so difficult. A nice Burrow Strike on Earthshake, who's going to attempt to run away. And if they can just get one Thunderclap, there should be enough to take him out. And there eventually will be. He uses Echo Slam for that interesting. Not sure about that. Interesting usage.
I was like, you're horrible. It does.
I'm trying to be nice. Well, these are like ridiculously pro players.
He tried to land the Echo Slam so he had time to buy himself a blink, and it didn't quite work out. He needed that instant
stun.
stun.
What that means exactly.
Well, if you take player-based damage, you can't use a blink dagger for 3 seconds. So what he was trying to do was stop Mason from hitting him for up to 3 seconds that he could blink away. But Mason did a really nice job there, chasing and preventing and making sure that he couldn't blink away. So that's why they got that kill. Interesting.
Interesting play from Earthshake.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Sand King did a really nice job in that fight, though, staying alive. He came in at the very beginning. He got really low. He escaped again. He channeled Epicenter. He blinked back in and Burrow Striked and killed the Lifestealer. And then he came back a third time and tried to double Burrow Strike. He only ended up catching one, which led to the Earthshaker kill. But if he would have got both, that would have been really sick.
And looking at Death Prophet, she didn't die. It is, I mean, is it even worth trying to kill her? I mean, it's so ridiculous. I mean, we saw in the game EG versus DK, even though they lost, you saw where she tried to kill herself in the fountain. She was too tanky. She tried to get back to the other base, but just couldn't do it.
Remember.
I mean, it actually ended up biting her in the ass.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it was, well, what do you mean take my word? Does that even mean it? She pops her ultimate, damage is going to be done. Oh, Sand King actually misses the Burrow Strike. Mainly because of the rage, I think, from Lifestealer. And this tower, in all likelihood, is dead. There's the song. They're going to try to set this up. Let's see if they can do it correctly. Arrow incoming. It's going to hit Doom. Can they kill him before he gets the Doom off? He's still stunned. One more couple of clicks. There's the epicenter, finishing him off. Death Prophet's still alive. Look at her ultimate go. Doombringer actually buys back in the game. EG needs to be taking note of this. Tidehunter is going to continue to chase. Remember, Echo Slam was used by Earthshaker, so he has pretty much nothing other than this fissure. And nicely done, though. But there, Lich gets taken out. So a terrible fight for Newbee, and that was actually 3 dead because Doom bought back.
Dude, they haven't even used Ravage yet.
Are you kidding?
They could still fight. This puts them in a good spot. They used all of their other ultimates, but they still have Ravage. So if Newbee wants to force this like they might want to do, Arteezy gets spotted actually. He gets doomed by the Doom. Zhao 8 here, Universe gonna
5 seconds on the mechanism on Tidehunter.
Alright, he's definitely gonna be able to mech him, I believe. It's just a little scary. Here comes the mech. Arteezy's gonna be alive. He's pretty low. Oh, how's in here? Oh, bit of a mistake there. They're still able to clean him up there because he runs into the Aegis or into the Roshan pit.
He could have denied himself if he wasn't mech.
He could have.
But you never, I mean, obviously didn't see that coming.
I didn't see how coming in either, personally.
Yeah.
Really hard to keep track
but
of
in the meantime,
stuff, so.
while all this is happening, top tower, already half health for the tier 2. TPD on this Mirana doing a little bit of damage. Not going to be able to take it out. And remember, when towers and buildings get below 10% health, that is when you can deny it. And denying it means killing your own tower or barracks or whatever other building. And this basically denies a lot of gold for the enemy team. They still get a little bit, but not nearly as much as they would have. And right now it is at 348 health, so it's just going to have to stand there. So the next push for EG in all likelihood will be for that tier 2 tower.
So the Suicide and Death Prophet was actually a really good way for Newbee to not lose as much in that fight. She did use it because she knew she was going to die. And it's a 6-minute cooldown. You can't do this every fight, but it's a really nice thing to use if you know that you're going to go down. You don't lose your killing spree if you suicide, by the way, so not only does she not lose gold, well, she loses gold for dying. Suiciding does lose you gold, but you don't lose a ton of gold because of your spree loss. So if she can just not have to die for the next 3 minutes, she'll be in a good spot.
That is another thing about the Bloodstone. I mean, there's a million things in one that we could talk about that freaking item. Of course, it's not picked up too often. I mean,
it's like fairly common. Come on.
Really? Fairly? I mean, Death Prophet's barely picked.
Death Prophet buys it sometimes. Tinker buys it sometimes. Once in a while, you see a Storm Spirit buy it.
Yeah.
It's not that unusual.
Ooh, I want to talk about Veil of Discord on Sand King. This is what would you consider this a luxury item? I mean, this is awesome on him.
Blink Dagger is core.
I mean, we didn't even notice he has Force Staff. Holy.
Yeah, he bought that. Remember that time he died bottom by the tier 2 tower?
No.
Okay. Do you remember that time that Arteezy got ganked
I don't remember anything.
Remember this, where he died up here?
Yeah.
That was the same time. So I was bottom, he ended up dying, but he bought it right before he died.
Oh, he might be in some...
Oh, again. Oh, he gets silenced. That is the death of him. Again, the ganking on Arteezy. Well, he's just getting hounded.
Doing so well in terms of controlling Arteezy. And a lot of times this is the funny thing. It's kind of a joke with EG. Teams come in trying to control Arteezy and somebody else ends up taking over the game. So the question is, can Arteezy either come back or is somebody else going to take over in his stead? Of course, they have so much team fight. It's going to be very difficult, even with all these kills, Newbee to push into the enemy base.
And the net worth is way higher on Newbee as well. It's way higher. The Death Prophet's 4,000 gold ahead. That's a full item ahead. Even the Lifestealer is sitting about the same farm. No, he's actually even ahead of Arteezy. So they have two carries that can farm pretty darn well that are both ahead of Arteezy. So that's going to be really hard for him to make a big contribution. Arrow's going to land actually on Lifestealer. Do they have vision of this? They do actually. There's Ravage coming in, Stomp as well. They're spreading out. BKB's popped by a lot of the Newbee heroes, and the Pep is going to come through as well. Moo gets really low. Chain Frost bouncing around. Big dunk coming from the Earthshaker. Universe is getting low as well. He might end up falling, but buyback from Panda now. He gets cleaned up. His Pandas go away. Mason comes in. He gets doomed the second time. There's the open wounds. How is going to end up dying? I think he does end up going down. Bit of a mistake. Arteezy's going to fall as well. Big mistake there, and they still end up getting the racks. Newbee pushes in, takes the racks off of EG. Is there any team Newbee can't beat?
Seriously, I don't understand what I'm saying here. Somehow I'm still surprised. I don't know why. I mean, they're just dominating everybody, and that fight is no exception. We saw the lifesteal. Oh, he actually did die because he infested inside Doom. I thought he was just going to stay in there for the rest of the fight.
He popped out. He really wanted to kill the Brewmaster when the Brewmaster got doomed, and he chased for too long. And if you overly chase like that, their teammates are going to notice what's happening, and they're going to try to defend them and possibly clean you up. And that's exactly what happened. He got cleaned up big time there.
And you guys might have noticed that Lifesteal actually got low at the very beginning of the fight, and he survived for quite a while because of his feast, meaning his passive skill where he gains HP. So when, like you were talking about earlier, actually, Brewmaster splits into 3. He just starts right-clicking all 3, gains a ton of health, and he's back in the fight again. So that was pretty damn good for Newbee. But EG's not quite out of it. I mean, this is the weirdest thing about it, Purge.
What is the weirdest thing?
Arteezy picked up the Radiant. He's 1-8.
He used to be 0-7-2. 1-8-2 looks a little better, I think, right?
Apparently.
Right?
He actually got a kill there.
Apparently, Radiance Burn or something, I'm not entirely sure. The reason he's dying so much, though, is because he's so far behind. If you do a nice job, or at least if you don't, he's been playing well, I'm sure, but if you get ganked this much and focus this much, like Newbee is focusing him, it hurts his Radiance timing, and then his Radiance is delayed, then it impacts his overall farm really hard, and he's not able to snowball off at kills at all. He has no chance of getting kills now because his items are so far behind. Death Prophet is not even vaguely close to being able to be touched by the Naga Siren, and she has a really good way to clear illusions as well. Crypt Storm can nuke the illusions. If her ulti's up, it can clear the illusions. Newbee's just in a really good spot.
Tidehunter in the enemy jungle gets doomed. I'm not sure what he's doing down there.
Just farming. I mean, EG does this a lot, actually. They kind of split the map like this, and they end up farming 3 camps here, as well as the bot lane. They farm 1 person mid, and then they farm most of their jungle as well. And if you cut the map like this, it means that your team's going to get more farm than theirs, and eventually, you call it starving, eventually you're going to starve them out. You'll have way more gold than they will, and you'll be able to take a fight.
Here we see Roshan, the ancient creep, basically in the middle of the map, always available to be taken. Well, not always. When you kill him, it's dead for between 8 to 11 minutes. But the important thing is, once they get this kill, the item called the Aegis of the Immortal will drop to the deck, and Lifestealer picks it up. This gives him a free life for the next 6 minutes to use, and that is pretty scary for EG. I'm not sure what they can do here, but okay, we talked about this. Arteezy still only has 1 level in Snare. But
he needs,
didn't really matter this
he
game,
needs all the HP he can get right now.
True.
He can't even fight against Lifestealer because he only has 1,200 HP. The main goal that you get at first, after you get the Radiance, is increasing your movement speed, which is exactly what Arteezy is doing. He purchased first the Radiance, then he bought Boots of Travel because that increases your illusions movement speed by 50. Then he buys a Yasha, and now he's running at 462, which is really fast. And when your illusions get this fast, they become very, very difficult to kill. He'll probably build towards a heart now or finish his Manta as well, but he needs movement speed on these things. They can spread out, they can farm, they'll do AoE slow damage to all of these creeps. They are 1 racks down, but if there's any kind of hero that can make this go on really long until EG's ahead, it's Naga Siren.
Yep, indeed. Sad but true, good sir. Now, of course, with Roshan down for the next 8 to 11 minutes. This gives Newbee a little bit of time, I'm sorry, EG a little bit of time, because this is forcing Newbee in a lot of ways to push. Because you don't want the enemy to farm, you don't want EG to farm anymore, you don't want to wait for the next Roshan, because you want to take advantage of this Aegis. That's a free life, why not? But at the same time, I don't know, do you feel like they need to force this? Because EG has such better late game overall.
Does EG need to force this?
No, does Newbee need to force this with that Aegis?
I mean, their team fight's very good. I kind of would like them to just take an Aegis and go for a Rex, personally, because...
You mean use the Aegis?
Yeah, use the Aegis and use it. Basically, try to force a fight, because they have the right heroes for it, I think. I mean, EG has better team fight, but theirs is not the worst. And most importantly, they need to get 2 racks. I'm just a little scared of a Naga, because Naga's made so many games difficult for a lot of teams in the past. So I'm just a little worried about the Naga Siren. If they get 2 racks, I'd feel really comfortable with Newbee, and then Newbee can do whatever the hell they want, play really, really safe. But for now, if they have the Aegis, they might as well go for it.
Yeah, and of course, when they have the barracks, that means the creeps in their lane are going to be much tougher to kill and give less gold and experience. And the mid lane is just going to continue to push for Newbee, and they're going to group up here at bottom lane. They're going to do exactly what we feel is necessary. Exorcism's popped. Lifestealer has extra armor thanks to Lich. You've noticed that little shield above his head.
Yep.
Any hero that actually attacks him, or any unit actually, gets slowed as well. Good going in. Oh boy, arrow coming in. It's going to hit.
Oh, it hits.
Oh, Death Prophet's getting really low. Look at her ultimate though. It's dealing so much damage. Do they even have enough to kill her? Arteezy on Naga Siren. Echo Slam to follow. She uses Cyclone on herself. She's still alive. I don't believe it. And unfortunately, the Shaking ultimate doesn't do pretty much anything, just a little bit of damage. And there she gets healed up from her Exorcism. We talked about that earlier in the game. The Fissure is there, blocking little people off, but in the end, Lifestealer comes back from that Aegis of the Immortal. And right now, it's a 1-for-1 with 1 buyback from Arteezy, I believe. Burrow Strike might be enough to finish off the Earthshaker, and it is. Is Newbee actually going to back up now? Because Exorcism downs for another 65 seconds. That was a really good hold from EG. Is that only 1 buyback, or am I wrong?
Let's take a look. That was... Yeah, only one.
But it was Naga.
It was Naga, but she's already got a lot of gold, and she did get a kill out of it. When you buy back, it costs you a bunch of gold. You respawn immediately, and the next time you die, you're dead for extra long. So because Arteezy bought back there, he's going to be dead a lot the next time he dies. But he did get 1 kill out of it. It also prevents you from farming, by the way. You can only get last hits when the buyback gold penalty goes away. And now it has, so he's going to be just fine. But buying back is a little bad, but look what his gold. He's already up to 2,000, which means he's going to finish his next item really soon. He's still about an item. What's his overall net worth? He's still behind everybody else, but his GPM
tied with like Lifestealer.
Oh, that's good. So he's increasing here. So he's about the same as Lifestealer. His farm is maybe equivalent because Lifestealer has a Midas and Naga doesn't. So it's not the worst place to be in as EG. Just the important part is you don't want to lose the next Rax. If they lose the second Rax, the game's going to be really difficult to win. I
would say. I mean, I still think Newbee's in the driver's seat for sure still, but Naga Siren is something you have to think about going into the late game. Looking at Death Prophet herself right now, she has the Heart of she's had it for a while, the Heart of Taras. This gives you a ton of extra health, and when out of combat for a few seconds, you will heal at a ridiculous rate. And this is what we're talking. That's why she was so hard to kill in that fight. I mean, if they had Lifestealer, meaning EG, that is a great hero against Death Prophet. They don't really have any great physical DPS, at least not yet. And she's starting to get out of control. I mean, they put everything on her. She lived, and like you said in the earlier game, Exorcism, when you use it, any damage that's done, a percentage of that damage when the ultimate is complete will come back and heal you, and that's why she came back with essentially full health. So difficult to kill. And now Lifestealer has an Assault Cuirass. Holy crap. They're getting so many. They're getting big.
Yeah, so what an Assault Cuirass does is it increases your attack speed. It also gives you a lot of armor, and it also gives you a really cool aura. The aura gives your allies attack speed, gives your allies armor, and it also reduces your opponent's armor by 5.
Including buildings.
Including buildings and towers and stuff like that. So it's a really nice attack speed item. It'll help him take out tanky heroes, but it'll also give his team a lot of armor. And they actually have 2 aura items right now. I saw somebody else, the one that's the Earthshaker. He picked up the Vlads. This is another item that gives you 5 armor, and these stack now. So their entire team has 10 bonus armor, and to get 10 bonus armor normally, it costs 1,400 gold of a plate mail. So because of these 2 auras, the whole team has a plate mail. They have 1,400 worth of armor. Just armor. Vlad's gives other stuff, AC gives other stuff, but the armor alone means they're very survivable against EG. Only downside, EG is almost entirely magic based, so
true.
Not
in
the
fact,
most important point.
EG is
but
really the one that needs armor, because remember, Exorcism from Death Prophet, all
Radiant's
physical.
middle tower
Looking
is
at Death Prophet and Doom right now, Purge, they both have Shivas, that's extra auras on top of everything. This is an activatable item that when used, it'll you get a huge area. Oh, might have to hold on that. Might have a fight. So when you click it, you get a big, I don't even know how to describe it.
Frost
Radiant's
circle.
top tower
Stuff.
is under attack.
Violent mystical field.
I was gonna say that. That's not Skyrim made, unfortunately. But it gives you a lot of armor, and it slows the attack speed of your enemies as well in the area. So that's gonna be coming into effect. It does not stack, so the 2 items, the aura will not stack. That would be pretty ridiculous if it did. The Exorcism seems to be working. Nice Burrow Strike. Be sure to follow. They're gonna get the easy tower though. And remember, the mid lane continues to push. Looks like Newbee is going to focus on the range racks first. There's the Naga Siren ult.
He's got to catch up, though. Nothing. There's one. There's one. There's one.
Okay.
Will he grab anybody? Wow, a bit of a whiff. They actually didn't use that right. I thought they were going to initiate on that, but they didn't.
Well, at the same time, Newbee actually falls back. So, I mean, the Exorcism is now over, which means you probably don't want to have a team fight because that's your main damage source.
Yeah. The Naga illusions are going to die.
I guess they're happy with the tower.
That was really weird. I thought he was going to be able to catch people with that. He is level 16 though, so the cooldown is very low now. It's down to 60 seconds. We'll see him casting that a lot more. He's got his Manta style as well.
Boy. Watch for Earthshaker on the right here. Maybe. Nope. Well, EG smoked. So Earthshaker actually does not see them passing by, other than the Naga Siren, who now shows herself. Reverse. There's the Burrow Strike from Titan, or from Sand King, I should say. Doom. Can he get off his Doom? Does he even want to? He just gets decimated. Earthshaker still sitting in the trees, just creeping it up. Killing. No big deal.
I've seen a lot of more players do this more and more, and I find it very weird because it seems like they're wasting time, but really what they're doing is looking for opportunities. I feel like he's wasting his time now because this. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not his team, but. He's looking for opportunities where he can come from the back and try to make plays happen. So once in a while doing that I think is fine. Tricks people.
I was wondering if he was going for an Orchid or a Refresher, and it is a Refresher from Brewmaster. So he can use his ultimate twice. Of course, you can't use them at the same time, but you use one.
Dude, that would be so cool if you could.
That would get like 6 Panthers. That's impossible. Like, you have to have 2 people play for you at that point. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Actually, you can give your teammates control, now that I think about it, so.
No, it won't work, I don't think. It'd be really good, though, if you could. If you could summon 2, your DPS would double. You could stun stack. You could stun somebody for 4 seconds with 2 boulders. You could clap, wait 4 seconds, clap again. Oh, that would be good. But what he can do instead is he can ulti, he can clap ulti, he can use his pandas for a really long 19 seconds, he can clap again, then he can refresh and ulti again. It's so much damage. It's all magic based. That's not true. It's largely magic based. The pandas do hit pretty hard, but it's a cool idea. The only downside is if he gets doomed, he's dead. But that was kind of the case anyways.
Yeah,
if he gets silenced, it's not going to work. There's a couple counters on the Radiant team that he's going to have to deal with.
Well, at this point, so expect Brewmaster, and again, who knows if they're actually going to do this. The problem with Brewmaster in a lot of cases is obviously getting silenced. So if you blink and then you thunderclap, generally that's what you want to do, is blink, thunderclap, and then use your ulti.
Yep.
I don't think he has time. I think he needs to blink and ulti, like you said. So should be interesting. I mean, by the time his ulti is up, like he comes back into normal form, he can refresh. Doom is probably, he's already used his ultimate at that point, so you're free to reign however you like.
You see how farm his eye is here on the Sand King? He's got an Ogre Club right now. He's almost got Aghanim Scepter, and that'll increase his ulti.
You sure he's not going BKB?
Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably a BKB.
It's not the greatest.
It's a lot safer.
No. Of course, BKB is called Black King Bar. It's an item. When you activate, you become magic immune, turns to golden. Oh boy.
Aghanims would give him a lot more damage. We have a guy TPing out. It's actually Universe. Oh, this is bad. Universe is farming. He doesn't real. Oh, there's the Force Staff. He's on the dire team. Ooh.
Oh boy.
He gets caught. He's going to have to fight now, or he's got to blink home. There's the Gush. He's looking to blink 2 seconds. But doesn't get off silence as well. He's going to go down almost for sure. Yep, he does end up falling.
Notice how he's slowed and then he's not slowed all of a sudden. That is his Kraken shell proccing it over and over
Sounds like a splash of water, basically.
And Roshan will now be taken out for a 2nd time. So, of course, it's only the 2nd time, meaning the Aegis will be the only item he drops. I guess Lifesteal probably takes this again. Death Prophet, for you guys out there, is not a good hero to pick up
Yeah.
the Aegis, because when you ult and you die and you come back, your ult is done.
Dude, look at this tower taking a lot of damage here.
Oh, wow.
By the Illusions. Lifestealer does grab it. He buys a Mjolnir as well.
Mjolnir is really good against Naga.
He's got 2 major attack speed items. These both give 55 attack speed, I believe. I'm sorry, Mjolnir gets 80 right now. It's huge attack speed, and it does lightning occasionally. And this is good because it's a very good way for Lifestealer to clear the Naga illusions. And that's what they have to deal with. And it does also increase your AoE farming capabilities. You can use an active buff on you as well, and if you take damage, it will occasionally throw out a lightning bolt. And that's very good against Radiance again, because Radiance will hit you every second, which means every 5 seconds on average you'll get a static charge blast coming out, just because of that. It's actually, static chance is 20%, so very, very simple to knock these out.
So Sand King did end up going for the BKB, which means he'll be magic immune when he activates that. This is important. Okay, I want to talk about a little. So when you channel your ultimate, the Epicenter, you need about 2 seconds of nobody stunning you or silencing you in that time. BKB will avoid silences and stun, but the problem is there's actually 2 heroes on the opposing team that will go through this BKB to stop your ult, which Doom's Doom and Lich's ultimate. The first bounce on his ultimate will actually cancel. It has a little bit of a mini stun. Yeah. So don't expect him to try to depend on that for his ultimate. I think it's just to survive in fights more than anything.
I mean, he does have to be in the right place to do this, and I don't think Sand King's going to put himself in the opportunity, to be honest. He's been kind of playing pretty consistently. As the push comes up, he does a blink burrow strike to safety, and then a bit after, when things get confusing, he does the Epicenter. And it's a smart way to play it, because everybody that's at this level that plays against the Sand King knows what Sand King's going to do when the fight starts. They're like, okay, he's obviously going to Epicenter. So if you do something a little different, like how he's doing it, if he jumps in, throws the burrow strike, and then waits until later to do the Epicenter, his opponents don't predict it as much, and it gives him a bit of an edge. So I don't think he'll put himself in that kind of a position, and even if he does, he's going to make sure you use Black King Bar, just to make sure that it goes through.
So we have a new item pickup for Naga Siren. Not the most typical thing you see on her. It's called a Lincoln Sphere. It's a very defensive item. It will block the next projectile, I guess, and for spells. It'll completely cancel them. So if Doom tries to Doom her, it will completely cancel it out, and the Doom will be wasted. But there are some skills to get rid of it, such as, actually not that many. Actually, I'm not sure if Fissure touches on it.
It does. Level Death, Frost Blast, Chain Lightning, Yule Scepter, Force Staffs, Sheep Stick. There's a lot of stuff. They're shifting to the bot lane. They're going to try to take this. They're actually hit it already. Range Rex goes down. I don't know if they're going to. They're going in. There's the Ravage. Great Ravage. Will they clap again? There's the AoE damage. So much of Sand King hit everything. Banana goes down. The Lich falls. Universe is running for his life. He's going to end up dying, but completely worth it, I think. Gem hits the ground. 2 for 1. Zai's still chasing. He wants to fight. Burrow Strike lands. Next stun lands. Here comes Mason. He can refresh this if he wants to. Maybe he wants to split again. Good fissure. Arrow's going to land on the Lifestealer, though, and they're chasing now. I don't think he wants to use his ulti.
He can jump inside Earthshaker if he wants. And I guess he doesn't have to anymore. Oh, there he goes. All right, he does it fine.
What an escape.
Beautiful escape. All right.
And RTZ's pushing top. He has used a lot of his skills here.
Oh
and
my
he
God,
gets the rack.
Unbelievable.
The power of Naga Siren.
But here we go. This is where the game gets crazy, because Death Prophet, I was wondering if she's going Lincoln's or Refresher. She goes for Refresher.
Well,
so unlike somebody like you guys maybe remember Razor picking up a Refresher Orb, meaning, of course, when I say Refresher Orb, you activate it, you get all your abilities back off cooldown. But the thing is, you can't use 2 ultimates at the same time for her, unlike something like Razor. So
that would be so OP.
Yeah, that would be OP. Similar to, I guess, Brewmaster is a good point as well. But this means that for all intents and purposes, unless this game continues to go on for 30 more minutes, she will almost always have her ultimate available. Because a lot of times you guys have seen they get kited, meaning get slowed or get turned around on to the point where her ultimate actually is about to dissipate and they just can't continue. Well, that's not really a problem anymore. Yeah, this game's turning insane.
Yeah, I mean, Newbee has to take another Rax, and they keep doing Rax damage, so I think they're going to be just fine. Oh, there's a song. They're so grouped right now. If they can land a Burrow Strike.
Nobody's close.
Nobody's even close. RTZ saw it, though. He saw the opportunity. He said, they're grouped, come. But everybody was split. Mason's bottom, PPD's bottom. I don't even think the Sand King was there. He's got his Epicenter ready to go, though.
Do you think they go for Throne?
Here come the TPs. They're not going to have the sleep to set this up. 38 seconds left. They're going for a throne. Actually, there's the clap. He goes in. Burrow strike hits 2. Zai runs back in. Arrow's going to land. It lands on the Lifestealer, but it doesn't end up working. Wow, did Brewmaster die fast. He buys back. He's going to pop Refresher to get his ulti up again. His illusions are bear things, panda things. They die so fast. The tier 4 towers are taking damage. They've got to kill him fast. There's the epicenter. BKB being used. Sen Sheng tries to dunk this. Xiao Wei, the Doom running for his life. Will he be able to live? He's almost dead. RTZ goes down. Doom goes down. Ravage finally happens. Universe. Second Ravage. Another anchor smash. Triple Burrow strike. Can they win the fight? How pops out. He's hitting the panda. The panda's gonna die. How goes down. RTZ's gonna sleep, but it doesn't matter. The fight's over. There's only one hero left. It's the Lich. Earthshaker's in the base defending. Will Lich go down as well? Yes. EG defends a triple kill on RTZ. What a buyback. What a defense. Their AoE was so sick there, man. They were all grouped up. The double Ravage, and as soon as the double Ravage ends, Zai also gets a Burrow strike.
I'm so impressed with Zai on Sand King. He goes in and out. You think he's dead, then he's not. He comes back with a huge ultimate along with the double Ravage. The problem here for EG is if even though that fight went relatively well for them, if that happens again, they lose.
Yeah.
Even if they lose the fight, because look, the tier 4s are down. It seems that Newbee has made the choice that they're not going to be going for top or bottom racks anymore. They're going straight for the win. And well, this might be a good time to push, even though they're not the greatest time to push since Brewmaster's down. But remember, Death Prophet used her Refresher 2 ultimates. Her next one's up in 40 seconds, though, so not enough time. This is...
Yeah.
Oh, Mirana. Even a support Mirana has an assault gear. And this is actually... Okay, we were talking about the implications of assault gears in general, how great it is for pretty much any team, but it's more so for EG. This is a huge item. If Mirana can stay alive with that aura, meaning Death Prophet's ultimate does so much less damage for everybody, making it a lot harder to kill the towers. In a lot of ways, it cancels out the assault cures for Newbee.
Yeah, they do cancel each other out, but that's good. They're back on even footing. That's what EG needs. They have to be careful, though, because, like you said, every time that Newbee goes in their base, they get advantage. They get advantage. If they do that again, the Ancient goes away. So EG's going to have to be more prepared for this. And here it is. Newbee's walking mid. EG's a bit bottom. There's a few heroes down here. They do have teleport scrolls ready. They don't have Ravage, though. 34 seconds on Ravage, 40 on the Refresher. Zai's ready to go on the Sand King. His ultis are up. Mason has his 17 on Refresher, so he's going to be set.
One thing to note, Purge, only one buyback available, and it's on Death Prophet.
Oh, he thought he was getting ganked. Weird. Oh, Lincoln Sphere.
We have a fight in the base, though. Brewmaster pops his. Oh, this might be the game-breaking situation. Brewmaster's dead. All 3 spirits are completely dead. I don't think they can defend without him. They're just going to go straight for throne. Is Newbee actually going to do this? Coming from behind yet again, Zai. Channeling his ultimate just dies right away. 2 dead, no buybacks on anybody. This is going to be Newbee's if they just go for the throne now. They're going to continue to damage it. Fortification is popped. There's the Death Prophet with the second ultimate. There's no way to defend this. Ravage here. Make it 2. Is this enough to take out Death Prophet? She's getting really low. Pops her Cyclone. They're going to get it, though. Oh, my God. This is insane. This is game 1. Kill me.
Newbee takes game 1 versus EG. This is a best of 3. Who goes to grand finals? Which team is it going to be? What a good draft from Newbee. They played this so well. They pressured RTZ all game. His farm ended up being insane, but it wasn't enough, and he